Kevin Hart has finally spoken out against Diddy for the first time since the trial began, listing all the people Diddy is allegedly targeting. Cassie has already written to the judge, warning that Diddy is a real threat. It's now becoming clear that she's just one of several people Diddy may be aiming to harm. Despite 34 witnesses, countless testimonies, and 2 federal raids, Diddy still hasn't been stopped. Now, he's preparing to walk free. Today, we'll look into the names of those Diddy is reportedly planning to go after once released on bail.
Affiliates who were inside that courtroom that Sean Diddy Combs put his hands together in a prayer motion, looked at the jury and said, thank you, before falling to his knees. His family were in the courtroom. There was applause, cheering as well as his mother left the court. She blew kisses to supporters that have been waiting outside. Now, as you mentioned, the verdict is in and it is split on that most serious charge, 1 count of racketeering and conspiracy. He was found not guilty. That was the charge that would have carried life in prison. He was found not guilty of sex trafficking and also of those 2 counts, but he was found guilty on those 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. Now, those charges do still carry 10 years, a maximum of 10 years behind bars, so he could still be facing up to 20 years in prison. Now, even with that guilty verdict, this is a legal victory for Sean Diddy Combs. He has been acquitted of the most serious charges against him. His defense had argued that, yes, there was domestic violence, yes, there was drug use, alcohol use, but that he should not be judged for his sexual preferences, that it was all...
The inmates at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Manhattan applauded Diddy as he returned inside. No one thought he'd escape the RICO charges, but now that he has, he's seeking revenge. Everyone who testified against him is at risk. Even his own chief of staff, Christina Karoum, turned against him during the trial. The people he trusted to manage his parties, the familiar faces at every after-party, and even the powerful figures who once helped hide his crimes all abandoned him when the federal investigations began.
Nearly a 2-month trial with 34 witnesses and hours of salacious testimony. A jury of 8 men and 4 women finds Sean Diddy Combs not guilty of racketeering and sex trafficking, but guilty on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. The judge is currently deciding right now whether Combs will actually be released today. His defense arguing that since the music mogul was acquitted of the most serious crimes, he should be able to go home. Once court was adjourned, family members cheered today's verdict. Combs' son, Christian, telling ABC News how happy he is.
Hey, yo, we love y'all. We love everybody watching. So happy. Pop's coming home. God bless. God bless the whole world.
What was going through your head when the verdict was read? Happy.
This week at the BET Awards, Kevin Hart stepped onto the stage and made a bold statement about Diddy.
Shutting down the idea of after parties. No after parties tonight, okay? None. Take your home after this. That's why I did it on a Monday. I did it on the Monday. People got to go to work tomorrow. No after parties. That's get slippery at the after parties. Okay? We're learning a lot about people, ain't we? No yachts, no boats, Cardi B, no pink stuff. No.
During the trial, Kevin Hart stayed completely silent about Diddy and even told others not to mention his name around him. The reason? Kevin was one of the few people caught on tape at one of Diddy's parties. Leaked footage revealed Kevin Hart and Usher partying alongside Diddy, surrounded by models who were allegedly the same women Diddy was exploiting.
You gotta bring bosses with you. As you see, it's female friendly. We got a ladies and a female. She's butt ball. That's what I call it, raw dog. I'm not jumping the tub myself. Once everybody moves out, it's just me and the lady. This is my scene. I'm used to this type of thing. Doing what I do best. Did the camera catch that? Cut the camera! Cut the camera!
Diddy wear.
All right, that's enough.
I know.
That's enough.
But I seen him. He shows me behind the curtain.
That's enough. All right, I'm gonna edit. I'm gonna edit this out.
But still,
put
a note on it. You can edit that one.
We want to thank you. Come here. Don't sit on the bed at night. No homo. No, just don't get close to the bed. Don't get close to the bed. But it's just like, we want to thank you for hosting the thing, man. It's been a pleasure. You didn't have to do it, and you did it.
No. I definitely didn't have to do it. I definitely didn't have to. First and foremost, I'm not getting in the bed. Shouts out to him and what he did. I'm just gonna. If we can, let's just put the camera a little this way, just so we're not. I don't want my shot to even I don't want it to come close to the bed at all. Usher look like he fresh off a goddamn plane. Usher
Fresh off the garden stage. That's my brother right here from day one. We used to wake up and, I mean, damn, pause, but like, just I mean, back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older, his older brother, we used to fight over the Frosted Flakes. You know what I'm saying? Before pause was invented. You know what I'm saying? But it's my brother for real. We used to actually wrestle off of the Frosted Flakes because he used to always get up early with me. Now he's one of the richest stars in the world. And
what the did Puff just say? Nobody's going to acknowledge this for me. Puff just said we used to wrestle over the Frosted Flakes, and we're streaming live. That was stupid. Listen, that was stupid.
Listen, having a good time. Yo, your Usher made it in the... Hey, yo.
Immediately after the not guilty verdict was announced, both Cassie and Deontay Nash victims who testified during the trial submitted a request to Judge Roon, urging him not to grant Diddy bail. Cassie's legal team argued that her life would be at serious risk if Diddy were released. The only reason the victims came forward was because they believed Diddy wouldn't be able to reach them, and that they'd remain safe. But this verdict shattered their faith in the justice system. One fan commented, "This Diddy trial proves you can do anything if you have money." Another tweeted about the outcome, noting that Sean Diddy Combs didn't even testify. His lawyers called no witnesses, and his defense lasted only 30 minutes while 30 people testified against him, including employees, former partners, voice recordings, and CCTV showing him assaulting Cassie. Still, no justice. Fame shields power, and power shields men.
Writes a letter to the judge asking for him to deny Diddy's bail, calling Diddy a danger to all of the witnesses. The judge just said at 5 o'clock he will make his determination on whether he's going to let Diddy walk free today while he's waiting to be sentenced on his 2 counts of prosta. And now Cassie Ventura is the second person to write a note saying that Diddy is dangerous and she doesn't believe that he should be let out on bail while he's waiting for sentencing. Cassie Ventura's lawyer wrote this letter on her behalf to respectfully request that the court deny Mr. Combs to be released pending his sentencing trial. They cite the law, the Bail Reform Act, that says detention is mandatory post-conviction on these charges, and Cassie Ventura believes that Mr. Combs is likely to pose a danger to the victims who testified in this case, including herself as well as the community. We thank the court for its time and attention to this matter. Now I'll be on the lookout if we have any other notes from witnesses that testified against Diddy, because this is a big deal. The judge will take these into consideration on if he's going to grant Diddy's bail. Still waiting on the government's letter as well, so this is why the judge said he'll reconvene.
Waiting on the edge of their seats for the verdict in the Sean Diddy Combs trafficking trial was singer Aubrey O'Day. She starred on Diddy's reality show Making the Band, and for years has been going public warning about Combs. Now she tells Inside Edition hearing he may soon go free felt like a gut punch.
Pop star Aubrey O'Day is in shock after today's stunning verdict in the Sean P. Diddy Combs trial. I spoke to her minutes after Combs was found not guilty on the most serious charges. What was your reaction to hearing this verdict?
It's literally a gut punch. That is not good enough. Let me make it very clear, it's not good enough. Okay? We're not normalizing this.
O'Day first met Diddy when he picked her to star in an all-female singing group after she competed on the MTV show Making the Band in the early 2000s. You've been speaking out about Sean Diddy Combs, raising alarm bells for years.
A lot of good it did me. My heart is with Cassie. She and all the women that testified had to sit on the stand while the world has debated their...
Not forget that Diddy has already begun threatening those who testified against him. Roger Bonds, his former security guard, claimed that Diddy ordered his team to attack Gandil and ambush him wherever they found him. And this isn't just hearsay. Gandil himself has confirmed it. In a recent video, he admitted he's been moving carefully and avoiding certain areas because he genuinely fears for his life. He said, "I'm not scared of death, but I'm not going to walk into a trap either." This kind of intimidation shows just how far Diddy is willing to go to silence those who know the truth.
Yo, if y'all see Gene, I'm telling y'all, man, somebody better punch him in the face. Somebody better do something to him, man. He out here doing this, that, and we be like, all right.
Okay, so when was this? Because was Gene doing interviews at this point?
Yeah, we talking like 2008, 2009. Gene was spreading the word. You know, Gene was always bad mouthing Gene.
Wait, hold on. Vlad TV started in 2008, 2009. YouTube was really early.
No, he wasn't doing YouTube and stuff. He was going around talking a lot of shit. And we all from Harlem. So he was just talking a lot of shit. And it's a small, Harlem is small.
So what was Gene Deal saying during that time? What did you hear? He
basically was talking about Puff fighting women, hitting women. That was going on with him and Kim. Puff being gay, you know, with him and Usher and shit like that. He was talking the same shit that he's talking now on a major scale, but he was spreading it around Harlem. Okay. So it was basically a thing where, yo, if y'all say, man, I'm telling y'all better hear, he got hands put on him, this, that, and the other. But we seen him, you know what I'm saying?
Don't worry about somebody that I bodyguard. And God knows I could bodyguard myself with his blessings. I could bodyguard myself with his blessings, bro. I'm not worried about that. Nothing beats an ambush, and I know that. But I'm not worried about his shit. People just need to talk about something. They want to have something to say, man. Oh, Gene got to be worried, so like that. So, shouldn't I have been worried when he was out here on the street? When he was out here on the street, I should have been worried. Yo, bro, August the 14th, 1999. High-speed chase in Harlem. You understand? I didn't know that he didn't send nobody after me then. Because niggas do that shit. They'll send somebody at you. I've seen dudes that do shit and they have niggas right there in the same clique and they didn't even know he did it. So how I know those 4 guys, 5 guns to my head wasn't sitting by him. When Roger Bonds come and say later that Diddy wanted something done to Gene Deal. How I know? That shit made the news. I got 2 scars in my head to prove it. So I don't know, bruh. You could be working for, I've seen niggas work for dudes. I was working for them.
Threats didn't end with Gandeal. Freddie P., a former member of DA Band, also came forward, urging Cassie to leave the country if Diddy is released. According to him, people in Diddy's inner circle are already plotting retaliation, and Cassie is next on their list. Freddie warned that she needs to get out with her family, because if Diddy can't reach her directly, he'll target the people she cares about most.
Cassie, just go ahead and move out the country, baby. Pack a little white guy up, get on out of here. We'll protect your family. Cause if you think Sean and he done beat it, and you got 30 out of him, at the least, me personally, at the least, I would get your boyfriend beat up every time somebody see him. Like I wouldn't have to be there. So I'm telling you, if I would do that, I don't know, you know Sean better than me. Cassie.
So you believe that Diddy, he'll try to harm Cassie if he get out?
I think so. I'm not trying to, man, it's hard because I don't know what Sean's getting out. I don't know what Sean is getting out of prison. I don't know if Sean is reformed. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if Sean's gonna get out more arrogant now that you just beat the feds. You see his kids dancing around. They don't look grateful. They look like, yeah, we gonna keep winning. That's not the attitude I would be giving. When I beat my case, when I walked out on my case, I dropped to my fucking knees. I didn't want to be around nobody. I'm happy as I'm not celebrating blowing up in the law face because I know I was just fucking crying, begging God. Nobody was in there with me. I was begging him. So how I look like to get out here and act like some macho hero, like I wasn't just being a little bitch on my knees for my father to save me when nobody else would. So I don't know what P. Diddy getting out. But me, personally, you took $30 million from me, I would advise you to get it. I would get out and tell you.
Diddy and his circle aren't just throwing empty threats, they have a history that proves how dangerous they really are. Recently, on an episode of Piers Morgan Uncensored, Big Homie CC revealed he was threatened for speaking out against Diddy. It's no coincidence that Kim Porter died from pneumonia while working on a memoir meant to expose Diddy. Many believe Diddy wanted to make an example out of her. Terrible things are unfolding behind the scenes. And this case is just the beginning.
Well, Piers, let me ask you a question. From your journalistic perspective, have you ever noticed how in this industry, people untimely meet their demise as soon as somebody else seems like they're having a problem? Have you ever seen that before?
Well, there was, of course, the case of one of his other ex-girlfriends, Kim Porter, who died of pneumonia at a very young age. You just referenced your own situation with pneumonia that you believe was deliberate poisoning. Do you believe that may be what happened to her?
Why are so many people coming down with pneumonia? Why is that happening to everybody? What is that about? Where have you ever seen this many cases of pneumonia associated with one situation? So, you know.
There were rumors.
I'm not saying.
Well, I was going to mention on this that there have been rumors circulating online that Diddy may have poisoned Jamie Foxx, which caused his 2023 hospitalization. In his Netflix show, he compared Combs to the devil in revealing his near-death experience after a brain bleed and stroke. He said, I say this all the time. I saw the tunnel. I didn't see the light. It was hot in that tunnel. I thought, shit, I'd gone to the wrong place. I looked up at the end of the tunnel and I thought I saw the devil saying, come on. Or was that...
Shockingly, Diddy's supporters are just as violent as he is and openly back his aggression. 2 ward women. Tisa Telses, a YouTuber covering the trial, was attacked outside the courthouse and forced to flee when a group of Diddy's followers began assaulting her. They also threatened Tisa, warning her that Diddy would come after her and make her pay.
It was a travesty. It was an all-out circus. Everybody, including myself, are running to safety.
I've got a question for you, Tisa Tells, and everyone's going to want to know this. You're in a car right now. You had to leave the courthouse. Why?
I had to leave the courthouse because Diddy's supporters were out of control. The first time I ran and did my live, of course, I had 2 armed security guys. Everyone told me, the people in the courthouse is like, make sure you have security. There's a lot of weird stuff going on. It wasn't just me, but I'll tell you what I experienced. Diddy's supporters surrounding me, threatening me, saying that they were going to hurt me. It was a serious situation. It got so bad and there was so much chaos and violence that they actually had to lock the courtroom down and force the Diddy supporters across the street. It was something myself, the news media, mainstream media, new media have never seen in their lives. The level, and again, the jurors, I hope to God they know how to sleep at night. Because again, I'm sure they did their duty. But when all that chaos was happening, as I was being threatened and ushered out by armed security people, I thought, this is what the jury did. They sent a signal that it is okay to use violence. It's okay to drug people up. It's okay to live a life of debauchery. It's okay to do whatever you want. Because guess what? If you work hard enough and you have enough money and enough delusional fans and you have ingrained yourself in culture enough that you can do whatever you want. And 12 of your peers will look the other way. Again, this jury was shocking.
Tisa Tells, when you say that Sean Combs' supporters threatened you, what were they saying?
They were saying, you effing B, we're going to kill you effing B. Apparently I work for the feds. You're a plant. You made this all up because of you. Again,
not forget that evidence was presented in court showing Diddy brought guns to his parties, which led Judge Aaron to deny him bail. While Diddy's lawyers pushed for his early release, Judge Aaron ruled against it, highlighting Combs' violent past. The judge ordered that the rapper stay behind bars until sentencing later this year, where he could face up to 20 years in prison.
Great victory. It's a great victory for Sean Combs. It's a great victory for the jury system. You saw that the Southern District of New York prosecutors came at him with all that they had. They're not stopping, but one thing stands between all of us and a prison, and that is a jury of 12 citizens. And we had a wonderful jury. They listened to every word, and they got the situation right, or certainly right enough. They acquitted him of the sex trafficking, which he was absolutely innocent of. They acquitted him of the racketeering conspiracy that he was absolutely innocent of, and all of the components to it. The kidnapping, he was innocent of that. The arson, he was innocent of that. The obstructing justice, he was innocent of that. And that is no longer just me saying that. That is the verdict of our jury.
Sean Diddy Combs has been denied bail after the verdict in his sex trafficking case, and here's how he took the news. According to NBC News reporters in the courtroom, Combs appeared, quote, deflated as his hopes of going home were seemingly dashed as his lawyers attempted to convince Judge Aaron Subramanian to release their client ahead of his sentencing. In his ruling, Subramanian cited Combs' years-long pattern of violence as a reason for him to remain behind bars, adding that he continues to be a danger to others and unable to follow the law. Arguing that Combs, who pleaded not guilty to sex trafficking, racketeering conspiracy, force, fraud, or coercion, as well as transportation to engage in prostitution, was acquitted on the three most serious charges of sex trafficking and racketeering, and only convicted of prostitution-related offenses. Defense attorney Mark Agnifilo insisted he should be released on appropriate conditions. As Agnifilo outlined, Combs would be willing to put up a $1 million cash bond, co-signed by his mom Janice Combs, his sister Keisha Combs, and Sarah Chapman, the mother of Combs' eldest daughter Chance Combs, and have no access to his private plane, which is currently grounded in Maui. He also agreed to surrender his passport, undergo drug testing, and restrict travel to areas of New York, Florida, and California as necessary to attend court and meet